So you heard some of the things he said about, in fact, the issue about the discrepancies in the figures. Even though I spoke to George Napo 2 days ago, but I didn't want, because I figured that you would have the same information, so I didn't want to. But I spoke to him 2 days ago, and he clarified that issue. So that matter, and then whatever rebuttal you want to give.
I think you are doing a better job than a lot of the people at the government spokesperson.
Why? My job is to make sure that when you tell me something, I don't pretend I don't.
No, I'm not saying that you're doing your job very well.
Yes, don't mind him. He's been mischievous. He's my friend. He's been mischievous. I know him.
He's very much in a hurry to say that this is a scandal under the NDC.
Yes.
But let's set the record straight. I mean, this is not rocket science, and Ghanaians are very much awake to this. And I'm going to give an example first before I go into the matter. For instance, at the transition, they told us that 5.7 people were benefiting from free SHS. In fact, directly under his ministry. When we got into government,
it's 3.5. It's not 5.
We got into government and realized that it was 3.5.
Okay.
He himself was one of the few people who came to say that, well, the figures were this and not that.
So did you ever hear me say 5.7?
Did we have the benefit at the time of transition to have known that they were lying to us? So all that Honorable Jinapo did was to unearth the lie, which was told, because in his press briefing, and this thing happened on the 17th of February. Listen, I have a news item here on Ghana Web, which was reported on the 17th of February. And I'm going to read verbatim portions of it for you. Today is March 28th. 28th. Well over 1 month. And the NPP suddenly wakes up and say it happened under our tenure. The minister was giving figures. And this is what happened. He said that, one, they import containers worth over $500,000 US, allow it to go into demurrage. Somebody buys it at $100,000, then turns around to sell the same container to ECG at $300,000. This was one of the scandal. Number two, they had reported to him that, and then he said about 3,000 containers were at the port to be cleared. Then when he got to the port, he discovered that, or not discovered, he was told that in actual fact they have only 2,000 something. The discrepancy between what was reported officially as transition and what he went to the grounds to see, or was reported by officials of the port, made him to say that, okay, let's go into this. I need to know the exact figures. It is the committee's work that unearthed the fact that over 1,347 were missing. So at what point did the NDC, get into all this? And I'm sure he's so much in a hurry to say that it is the NDC. And let me read for you. This is what the minister said.
We can't verify what you are reading.
I mean, it's public knowledge. This is the minister's voice quoted.
Tomorrow.
It is not.
We spoke to John Jinapo. He said the same thing. It is not 2 days ago.
It is
not.
not.
But I think you've made a point. You've made a point.
No, I haven't finished. You wait. And then he said that, speaking on hot issues on TV3 on Sunday, 16th of February 2025, Jinapo revealed, I checked with the port, and the security report I received shows that a container worth 500,000 was imported. ECG couldn't clear it, and somehow someone was able to buy it at 100,000 cedis, then resell it to ECG for 300,000. Jinapo disclosed. It will stop, and I mean it will stop. Whatever it takes to stop that, no matter how unpopular that may be, we must take action. Jinapo further detailed, it's all because they are engaged in what I call very frivolous procurement. Now they have about 3,000 containers stuck at the port, generating a demurrage of about 1.5 billion, which is very unacceptable.
3,000?
About
3,000?
No, you work at the education ministry. I expect you to know this very well. This is about 3,000.
No,
now, in any case, what's your definition of 3,000? The statement is clear. That about 3,000. If you decide to rationalize it to 3,000, that's your business. What we have gotten to right now is that when the man got to the port, there were less than was reported. And that is what's triggered the investigation. Now we know that you sold some of those containers to people before you left office. Now we know. And he just tells me that why did I bring Afenyo Maki into this? Well, Afenyo Maki should supervise the 68 billion loss of debt of the ECG. Why won't I go there? He's the board chair.
You must
He is the board chair. I'm not going to retract this. I'm saying that he supervised it. And that's public knowledge.
Let him land, just like I'll do it for you. I'd like to land.
Afenyo Maki cannot recuse himself from this rot. If indeed this happened under his watch as ECG board chairman, he must be held accountable, including David Asamoah, who supervised some of these words. So we cannot leave some of these things to chance. Sometimes we assume that because he's board chair. So in any case, if he was board chair and that place was flourishing, he would have taken the credit.
Absolutely.
If it's gone bad, he must pay the price for it. And he was sent there to manage the place more effectively and efficiently. So if he's not doing it, we should be able to tell him in the face. And I think that you shouldn't be bothered about this. You should rather join us to investigate some of these things.
Okay.
Is it all because he's your leader, that's why you don't want him
to
cut in this?
Reverend Itim Fojo will be more than happy to join you to get to the bottom of this.
Tomorrow, I am so happy.
He has to be.
I am happy that Wonder himself has read a portion that exonerates my point. He has spoken for me.
Which
one? His own evidence he was adducing.
About 3,000.
I am happy I was patient to allow him to expose himself. He has quoted the minister emphatically stating that even upon your suspicion on certain discrepancies, he said that there were about, I quote you, you read it, you quoted the minister, confidently said about 3,000. It's 1,400, about 3,000.
Reverend.
It's 2,500, about 3,000. So the 3,000 containers that got wings to fly under NDC, they must bring them back. Any attempt to bring the respected minority leader into this, it will not succeed.
Yes,
is not complicit of the crime you NDC have come to perpetrate. Leave him out. Leave him out of this. But whilst you are trying to shift the goalposts, it is an indication of incompetence. It's an admission of incompetence that you have lost control in the handling of these matters, and that you cannot even have your grip on the actual figures. When you were confidently speaking to 3,000, had you not verified?
Speak to them.
Have you not gone to the port?
To the education ministry.
This matter, this scandal hangs around the neck of NDC, and no political party will share it with you. It is strictly a scandal by NDC under NDC, and we expect NDC to solve this matter. And whoever is involved, whether NPP or NDC or apolitical, then you have the onus lies on you to prove them and to recover all that has been.
Why don't you wait for the investigations to move on and to determine when the theft happens?
Once we are even waiting for the investigations, the numbers must be established. The minister said 3,000 emphatically.
He never said 3,000. You are a reverend minister. I quoted about 3,000.
So
how is about 3,000 equal to 3,000?
1,000 for about 3,000.
Of course, it's still about. The nearest 1,000 is 3,000.
So to NDC, 1,400 is about 3,000. Then when they say that they are going to give 51.3 million to our women development. That's why you said you were going to bring Women Development Bank. A development bank that requires minimum 800 million. You brought 51 million. I'm sure even in the final
for 1 year.
I'm sure even in the final investment, they'll bring 5.1 million and say we said about 51 million.
Come on, please.
But that's said. On a more serious note, ECG must deliver. Minister for Energy, I have every confidence in Honorable Jinapo to deliver. He must go to the bottom of this. This shouldn't add to one of the many scandals NDC is noted for. This should be resolved. Again, fire outbreaks and all these things related to ECG, fire outbreaks. The Speaker of Parliament has referred the matter to my committee. We are jointly responsible with the Committee on Local Government to go into the bottom of the DUMSO propelled or DUMSO-induced fire outbreak that took place, sadly, in Kumasi. And not only fires, and what can we do to prevent those fires going forward?
Okay, those are your terms of reference.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But quickly, DUMSO plays a key role in there. Once we're able to fix DUMSO, we'll be able to reduce the causative factors. 6,000 people in the DUM have been affected. Coming into it also dovetails into the role of Ghana National Fire Service
Right.
in responding promptly to fire outbreaks, in combating fire, improving their response time. But one thing I must put on record is that if there's any state agency or security agency that in the public safety sector which has been so misunderstood and unfairly bastardized, it is the Ghana National Fire Service. Because there are some key aspects relating to their work and output which is not their responsibility. For instance, fire hydrants. It is not the responsibility of Ghana National Fire Service to install and maintain fire hydrants to ensure there's reserve water in fire hydrants. Theirs is to move in there with the equipment, with their hose, and plug into fire hydrants. It is the responsibility of Ghana Water Company. But oftentimes when fire incident breaks out, and then you call fire service, they get in there, within 3 to 5 minutes, even the quantum fire tender, whatever water that is in there should get finished whilst they attack the fire, within 3 to 5 minutes. But when you call fire service, they get in there, and then within 3 minutes, water runs out. People are impatient, throw tantrums at them as if they are incompetent, as if they don't know what they are doing. We saw the Ashanti Regional Minister, just verbally assaulting and abusing officers of National Fire Service, so unprofessional, unbecoming of a minister, as though he clearly did not even understand the operations of fire service. And instead of humbling himself for him to be briefed, he was rather TikToking and doing video exposing his ignorance.